Hey, it's Mazzy here, and this is my top punk records of all time. This is a response to a thread, actually a contest by Ron Haggerty Vinyl Sanctuary. And Ron congratulates on the 1,000 subscribers. And this contest is for 5 punk records of your favorite punk records. But I'm going the Vinyl Richie route. I'm a friend of Vinyl Richie's. And the whole idea of punk is there are no rules. And in fact, the whole idea of punk music, it's more of an idea, more of a theory, not even a theory, but more of a culture and not a kind of music. So Ron Haggerty's contest is connected to Chris Prophy, who gave him an album that he's giving away. If I happen to win, please pass it on to someone else. I have so many records. But I want to be involved and I want to congratulate Ron. Great channel. There's a lot of heavy metal stuff. I'm not into the really heavy metal stuff, but he has other things too, and he's into some punk, and I'm a fan of that too. So he's got a great calming presentation I love. So congratulations, Ron, on that. So I'm going my own way in the whole punk attitude, where it's about attitude, about music, and of course there's hardcore punk, there's art punk, there's cowpunk, there's proto-punk, there's post-punk, and it's as Vinyl Richie says, and I agree with him, punk is punk, and you can interpret that anyway. Now, I'm going to start out with my honorable mentions, because they're not considered punk artists, but there's 2 albums by major artists that you all know, and you probably have some of these in your collection, but to me, these are the closest these artists have to punk records. And of course, the first John Lennon Plastic Ono Band album, I could throw in the Yoko album at the same time that came out. Companion albums, it's got a really wonderful punk essence to it. Really gritty, real minimal, real basic, but major wonderful songwriting. So John Lennon Plastic Ono Band. The other major artist I'm doing is Bob Dylan's Hard Rain from 1976. I was fortunate enough to see this tour in Austin, Texas in 1976. Dylan is yelling. He's just reinventing the songs of Desire and prior to that in a real punkish way. I mean, if you've seen, this is a live show, if you've seen the video to this or listen to this record, it's so punk. I didn't even get this record, understand it in 1976. White label promo copy of mine. But I think this is punk to its fullest extent, Bob Dylan. Okay, now, counting backwards, here we go. UK band, the Slits, all-women band, the Slits, coming in at number 20. Great album. In more of the bass, drums, dance realm, the first album by the fabulous UK band, the Gang of Four. This is on Warner Brothers Records. This is coming in at number 19. Number 19. The Gang of Four, Entertainment. Punk poets are a big part of what I'm into as well. Coming in number 18 is Richard Hell. Richard Hell and the Voidoids. Richard Hell went on to write a bunch of books. Great essayist, great poet, Richard Hell. Richard Hell and the Voidoids on Sire Records, 1977. Coming in at number 17, from Olympia, Washington, just down the street, the third album by Sleater-Kinney. This is based on the Kinks Controversy UK cover art, the great band of Sleater-Kinney. Of course, LA's Black Flag is coming in at number 16, one of the great punk records. I believe this is the first one with Henry Rollins. Wonderful record from the Black Flag, not the Black Flag, Damaged. San Francisco's own Dead Kennedys, a band I saw frequently around at all the clubs in San Francisco. The scene in San Francisco was amazing. I was fortunate to partake in so many concerts there, so many scenes in San Francisco, as well as Los Angeles and a few in New York back in the late 70s. This is Fresh Fruit for the Rotting Vegetables. Jello Biafra, political savant who also ran for mayor of San Francisco. Sometimes his intros and stories and political rants would get in the way, but that's part of the fun. Of course, Nazi punks, Fuck Off. I have the singles with the swastika. On their own Tentacles record label, Dead Kennedys. Interesting band. East Bay Ray, Klaus Fluoride, Ted, and Jello Biafra. Of course, from the UK, The Damned. This is an all-time favorite record of mine. This is my original Island UK pressing of The Damned from the UK. Coming in at number 14, the Buzzcocks, going a little different area, a little different genre of punk, not the traditional hard punk you think of as a punk, maybe more in the new wave vein, but still a great record. This is a different kind of tension, I think this is not everyone's favorite of theirs, but it's probably my favorite Buzzcocks record. Singles Going Steady would probably be most people's favorite. And now, direct from Minneapolis, Minnesota, The Replacements. And I have to do this because the Beatle connection it's called Let It Be, and they're up on a rooftop. I love this record. This is my favorite Replacement record by far. Just love this record. This is an original pressing I got back when it came out. From the New York club scene, from the whole CBGB's thing. I've only went to CBGB's once, and I saw the Ramones there. But this is a promo copy, my original promo of television's Marquee Moon. I saw them, I think, in 1977 at the Old Waldorf. A lot of these bands came through in 77 and beyond, and I went to see almost every one I could get a chance on. But of course, Marquee Moon with Richard Lloyd's great guitar playing and Tom Verlaine's great guitar playing. What a great combo there. I thought they were really great. Check out, there's a Richard Lloyd instrumental CD, album that was really good too. Of course, from Athens, GA is the B-52s. The artist, the band, the song on here, Rock Lobster, that actually John Lennon heard to get Yoko back in the studio to do Double Fantasy, saying, "Come on, mother, they finally understand you, they got you, they're doing you." Rock Lobster is a nice homage in a way and influenced by the Yoko Ono, but what a great record. Planet Claire, totally different sound, upbeat, dancey. You all know B-52s. Very commercial, which is nothing wrong with that. Devo's first record on Warner Brothers, their first long player. I have their independent singles of Satisfaction and Are We Not Men. I saw them at the Mabuhay Gardens, the Fabulous Mab, the great punk review. Used to be a Filipino restaurant in San Francisco before this album came out, and they were fantastic with those amazing, they have multimedia of 60 millimeter films, really a great art punk band, the art punk scene from Akron, Ohio, Devo. And of course, probably one of the biggest commercial artists that really hit it big, came out of the punk movement, but also had a different sound, and this is the first debut, by Blondie on Private Stock Records, an original pressing. You all know this group, you all know this band, but Ex-Offender, In the Flesh, Man Overboard, The Attack of the Giant Ants, A Shark in Jeff's Clothing, and In the Sun. Great debut by Blondie. Deborah Harry and Company. Of course, one of the most infamous bands, original UK pressing of the Sex Pistols on Virgin Records with the blank back cover. I was fortunate historically to see their last concert they ever played at Winterland in San Francisco. Terrible show. They were terrible. Go-Go's opened up, as I recall, were much better, but it was great to see them. I mean, they were just assholes to the audience. They were fucked up. They were assholes. Never Mind the Bollocks is an incredible record. I have all their UK singles as well. Now, in a whole different scene, this album, Unknown Pleasures by Joy Division from the whole Manchester scene. Amazing, amazing record. Factory Records #1, as I recall. Yep, Factus #1. Great record. I never really was a New Order fan except for the first album. I was thinking about trying to see them when they came to America, but of course Ian Curtis hung himself just before they came to America. The film Control, the docudrama Control, great film on Ian Curtis, and Joy Division. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. The top 5 now. Talking Heads 77. Art rock at its finest. Really quirky. I saw them at the boarding house in San Francisco right on their first tour after this album was released. Incredible record. Psycho Killer got a lot of airplay in San Francisco. So it was, some considered it a novelty song, but look where they went and look how they evolved. And David Byrne and the Tom Tom Club, and they evolved in the different areas. But Talking Heads 77. Coming in at number 4, a band I probably have seen next to the Dead Kennedys more than any other punk band, and that's X. I saw them probably 10 times back in the day, both in Los Angeles and San Francisco, every time they came out. This is produced by Ray Manzarek, the keyboard player of The Doors. Incredible record with John Doe, Exene, Cervanka, Billy Zoom, and DJ Brownback on drums. Saw them this past, a year ago, January or February, the last show I saw before the shutdown, playing in Seattle. But they have an album that came out last year. It's really good. X, what a great record. Los Angeles. It's got, they started getting into a little also alt country sound, but incredible punk record. I think everyone needs this one in their collection. Coming in at number 3 now, my UK original pressing of the first Clash album with Janie Jones, Remote Control, I'm So Bored with the USA, Hate and War, London's Burning, the original first version of Career Opportunities before the young boy joined for the Sandinista album. Incredible record, saw them several times too when they came around the Bay Area in the late 70s. But what an incredible record, and this is on CBS from 1977. The next record would be probably considered the most important punk record of all time. To most people, it might be number 1. It really laid groundwork in 1976, and it's a band I first saw in August of 1976 at the Savoy Tivoli, a club in North Beach, San Francisco. And that's the debut album by the Ramones on Sire Records. Of course, Seymour Stein signed them. I think the record cost $6,000 or $7,000 to produce. They wanted to do it like the first Beatles album, kind of all at once for the most part. What an important record this is in punk. It wasn't a huge seller to begin with, but of course it gained in stature, got more famous, and it's the incredible album we all know, the Ramones. And coming in at number 1, which probably wouldn't be in a lot of number 1 lists, but I think a lot of people do like this. And it's, to me, the best poet of the punk scene, the new wave scene, and beyond. And it's Patti Smith's album, Horses. This is my number 1 pick for punk record. Some people won't call it punk, but remember, punk's an attitude, not just a sound. And what you think is punk is just those loud Black Flag, Dead Kennedy type of 3 or 4 chords is one aspect of punk. And of course, Lenny Kaye on lead guitar. Lenny Kaye was also a writer, a critic, who would put together the Nuggets package of music, the Nuggets comp earlier in the 70s. But Patti Smith, Horses. On a personal note, my first apartment I moved into in 1975. My buddy Brooks and I, we had an apartment theme song, and it was the single of, she did, of Gloria, and the B-side was the song we put on when we wanted to shake things up, a live version of My Generation by The Who. I don't need that fucking shit talking about my generation. Patti Smith, I've seen her so many times, saw her clubs in San Francisco when this came out, seen her at the Fillmore, saw her in Seattle. The first show when I first moved to Seattle 7 years ago was a Patti Smith show. So Ron, congratulations on 1,000 subscribers. That's punk music. That's punk records, great punk bands. Mazzy loves you.